John, start with the orchard.
Okay.
Please.
You want to talk about orchards? Okay. One of the most helpful ways I find to talk about the difference between offline research and online research is the idea between the orchard and getting fruit wild. Because we don't realise the extent to which the whole research industry is based on an idea that we plant some trees, put a wall around them, put fertiliser in there, and in a very industrial way we produce a crop of fruit. And we'll debrief to the client, and the client will say, how many red apples, how many green apples? And we have to say, well, according to the ratios that we put in there. It's very, very controlled. What we've got with online is a client who basically has acquired a taste for gathering for wild fruit, which someone has to go out and gather. You can't just go to any tree and get things off there, because a lot of it isn't very good, doesn't look very nice, and needs cleaning up. So in that sense, it's a lot more hit and miss. The question is that the client could go and get that fruit too, because it's really about how well you gather, how well you know where to find the good fruit. And the question mark is, we're not doing anything to put the fruit there. And so in the long run, and this is really the question mark I have over what I would call kind of Web 3, is at the point where I can start to sample blogs, websites, podcasts, video casts, and so on, and everything is keyworded. It's as if there's so much wild fruit and there are such powerful indexing systems to bring the good stuff to the top. The client may say, I'm not quite sure what value you guys are still contributing. That's what I'm worried about at the moment. I don't know what the good news is, except I guess. But I mean, the other thing which got me exercised, talking to a group in a conference recently, was that we have two different skills in our culture, anthropologically speaking. Okay, one is hunter-gatherers, and the second are farmers. And we all know the story. The farmers took over from the hunter-gatherers. We all know that. Now, the hunter-gatherers are making a comeback. What we've never really coped with very well, and you can read your William Golding and Lord of the Flies and everything else, is that hunters and farmers don't sit very well together. They work in very different ways. So, from that point of view, it does mean that the traditional fault lines of the research industry, I think, are going to be drawn in different places. So, at the moment, there is a Qual dividing line, which in online terms is absurd. Quant are doing more Qual than Qual could ever imagine, and Qual are now getting involved in quantitative issues because they have so much qualitative data. They can also, in that sense, create data on an industrial level. To me, the new fault line is going to be between these farmers and gatherers, because there's going to be farmers who claim they're really great at getting wild fruit, and there's gatherers who claim that they're really good at planting orchards. I don't think clients are going to believe either group.
And where do we sit as everyday life?
Well, I mean, I think ethnography is got huge opportunities in the whole emerging online area, because it's an area which your average client is blind to. I'm not saying that clients then obviously talk to their customers and aren't interested in customer behaviour, but at the speed and the volume with which one can start to gather research data online, the bit which is missing is what I call the last 20 centimetres. The last 20 centimetres is the gap between your screen and you, or between your phone and you. Because of course, you can't surf the web on your phone by your ear. It has to be in front of your face. Now this 20 centimetres is the bit that virtually no online research is looking at. Because why? It's much easier, and all the methodologies are about what happens behind the screen, not what happens in front of it. So I think when clients start to wise up to an awful lot of the important stuff is happening outside of the screen, in front of it, that last 20 centimetres, I think you guys will have so much work you want to do.